What's up, everybody? My name is Shannon and I am still waiting for my Satyr, and today we are talking about The Wish Granter by CJ Redwine. So this is the second book in the Ravenspire series, and I am now officially obsessed with the Ravenspire series. Oh my god. So I really loved The Shadow Queen. It was amazing, it was Raylo, the romance was perfect, it was dark, it was angsty, just like everything about it was great. And yeah, sure, it was a pretty straightforward, nothing super new here telling of Snow White, but it was awesome and I loved it. Going into The Wish Granter, I knew that this was going to be a completely new story, new characters, still set in the same world, but we're gonna have some new dynamics introduced. So I was really interested in what that was going to be going into this book. The Wish Granter is about Rumpelstiltskin, and throughout this book, I knew it was about Rumpelstiltskin, but so many times I had to stop and ask myself, I'm like, am I sure? Because it doesn't look anything like any Rumpelstiltskin story that you have ever heard, and I absolutely love it for it, and it just felt so real and tangible, and I could not get enough of this book while listening to it. But we open up in another one of the kingdoms, Sundril, within our magical world here, and we have a brother and sister who are on the run from a vengeful queen. They are the bastard heirs to the throne. She's threatened by their very presence, and they are kind of backed up against a wall. They're not doing super well until the brother is confronted with the Wish Granter, aka Alistair Teague, and he says that he will make sure that his sister stays safe as long as he just wishes to become king. And of course, as anybody who watched Once Upon a Time will know, all wishes come with a price, and nothing is ever going to turn out as it seems when you're dealing with magic. Skip ahead a little bit and we're focused entirely on Princess Ariana, the sister in that earlier situation, and when she discovers what her brother has done, she vows to do basically whatever it takes to make sure that he ends up on the right side of this deal. And I really admire that about her, because at first glance she seems very soft and fluffy. She loves baking, she really loves food, like all things food, she's completely obsessed with it. And she did grow up as a servant, so she doesn't really know how to be a princess, and she's kind of like, I don't like these corsets and I don't want to dance, I want to go ride dragons, all that kind of stuff. But suddenly, whenever she's faced with like, my brother needs help, she just snaps into this different mode, and you see that she is really smart. Like, she's like, okay, if I'm going to stop this all-powerful Fae being, I need to be able to defend myself. So she goes out and learns how. I need to learn how to figure out how to even take down a being like this. She goes out and figures out how. I need to know exactly who the Wish Granter is, what exactly is going on with him. She goes out, figures out how. She is so unbelievably smart, and I feel like her characterization was just balanced really well. And honestly, Princess Ariana might be one of my favorite characters just out of all of the books I've read in general, because she was just so fascinating to read. And I also really loved her romance with Sebastian. He is the new palace's weapons master, and he has a very tragic backstory. He's also touch adverse, which, you know, creates all kinds of lots of wonderful angst, but he's very different from Ariana, and yet they find themselves falling in love with each other, and their love story is much more adorable and much sweeter than it was in The Shadow Queen, but the dynamic just still worked so well, and CJ Redwine just worked her magic, and I was unable to put this book down. Like, from the second I started it, I just had to keep reading, and I was constantly shocked by what was going to happen. I was completely blown away. It was completely unexpected. Unlike The Shadow Queen, like, these books, the way that they're set up, the way that they're handling their myths are very different, and yet they still feel like they come from that same world. That world building we got was so amazing, the way that the magic works, the way that you can kind of feel the kingdoms taking shape. I just absolutely 100% loved it. So if you weren't sold on the series from The Shadow Queen, you should definitely start reading it now, because it's absolutely outstanding. Totally recommend this book, and it is getting an A+ from me. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, be sure to hit that like button down below, and don't forget to subscribe so you can talk books with me every week. That is everything I got for today, and I'll see you next time. Bye!